So I'm going live, which may be a dumb thing to do, but you probably clicked on this because you're like, oh, Nick is going to post something on Facebook. Won't this be exciting? So class is back in session, though, and I am going to help you with understanding your veteran loved one, your warrior loved one, or maybe the person at work, or the person that you're going to have to interact with that you had to interact with at Thanksgiving or Christmas, and why warriors, especially soldiers, especially individuals who have led people in combat, why are they so arrogant? Why are they, when they talk as if they are speaking with divine grace from God, that every word that comes out of their mouth is gospel and true, and they do it with a air of confidence that no one should ever have. They could be talking about something that they have no business talking about. If you would like me to talk to you about women's issues, I have no problem talking with absolute confidence about these, actually any topic. And when I start to talk about them, I don't talk about them as, hey, I'm just thinking. It's like I am a professor giving a class, and I snap into that so fast, I have no idea that I am even doing it. And I have so many people in my life that point this out to me, and how incredibly annoying it is. And I'm sure that there are others that have had to deal with this, either on the flip side or on the, having that come at them, or having to deal with those type of individuals. I'll expand it, actually, because if you have somebody that is a teacher, they can have the same kind of flip of a profession that has become an identity that now influences their interactions with other people, where they start to in the relationships, like, talk with this air of authority, because they are in a classroom talking to a bunch of individuals who don't want to be there some of them don't want to be there to learn, and they have to have a commanding presence in that class. They have to act like it is important, and they have to act with confidence. Nobody would want to listen to a teacher who was like, I don't know if this is right or not, and I don't know if it's going to be on the test, and it might not even be important. Nobody wants to listen to that teacher. Nobody would listen to that teacher. They have to speak with confidence. They have to speak as if they know what they're talking about. And if you've ever been a boss, bosses are arrogant. Like, you would have to be, because everybody likes the paycheck of a boss until, especially like this time of year, you have to tell someone that their paycheck stops. If you are actually an individual who has a soul that is incredibly heartbreaking, and that paycheck no longer seems like enough money to deal with what you have to go through doing that to another human being, you just are an arrogant prick who loves to have power and exercise it over everybody else. And that is the issue, is that those two individuals look the same, especially when it comes to warriors, because it is very difficult to tell the difference between a wolf and a dog. The best way to tell the difference is if you slap it on the nose and say no, that it doesn't bite your hand off immediately. That's the difference between, you can smack a dog on the nose and tell it bad dog, and it won't rip your arm out of its shoulder. Everybody has seen what their dog can do to the giant bone that they bring, and then they start realizing that dog could actually do that to me, but it doesn't. The only thing that it does is it just wants to be told that it's a good boy. That's what your warrior that's in your life wants, to be able to hear from the people that he would do everything to protect. I am using the male gender only because like I said, I shouldn't speak on women's issues, but I am more than happy and capable of it. But I am speaking from my experience and the experience of others that I know. That is all that they want is to be told that they are a good boy. Yes, they bark in the middle of the night but they're doing it because they love. But why do they have so much arrogance? Well, you think of a teacher that has to have a level of confidence that gets people to learn. You think of a boss that has to have the level of confidence to be able to make decisions that influence somebody's life. Tell me, how much confidence do you want the person that tells you to do something that could get you killed or could save your life to have? How much confidence do you have to have in yourself to look at a person and say, if you do what I tell you, everything's going to be okay, and if you don't, people could die, or worse than that, the wrong people could die? Because I do not ascribe to I would rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. My mantra is death before dishonor. I do not want to see these things play out. It's like, that's intense. That's a little bit more intense than, that's because the job of warrior is the most important job in all of society. This idea of what we're doing is we're creating a toxic environment. We're conditioning men to believe that violence is a viable solution. Are you insane? Oh, we're just conditioning them to believe these lies. And my gosh, you need men who actually are so brainwashed and far gone that they actually believe to the depth of their soul that their community is the greatest community, and that they would go and risk their lives to protect it. Because every other job, in any job, if a gun wielding, knife wielding, stick wielding, violent sociopath shows up at work, everything stops. There is no job so important that if a violent sociopath shows up at work and starts committing violence, that it does not immediately grind to a halt. Being a teacher is incredibly important. However, no matter what important things you have to teach that day, no matter how important it is that children get a good education, one person shows up with violent intention, everything's done. It's definitely done for the rest of the day. It might not start up the next day, for sure. It might not start up for the week. It might affect everybody for the rest of their lives. It may decrease productivity for years in any job. Every job stops as soon as a violent sociopath shows up. You know whose job doesn't stop? The person who's a warrior. Do you know what a warrior calls a day that a violent sociopath shows up to work? They call it a Tuesday. It's just, that's the day that they get to actually do their job, and their job is to make sure that everybody gets to have a life of peace and prosperity. But do you have any idea what it takes to be that kind of person? Do you have any idea what it takes to create people like that? Because nobody is born like that. Most people, to recruit people like that, it is, you're looking at these people, and I don't want to be one of the warrior. I don't want to be an infantryman, but my mom is okay with me being a truck driver. And it's like, but then they get back from basic training, and they've had their nervous system, which has to be rewired, or they already started out with the trauma, or they are like me or some of my friends who read too many books and believed too many fantasies. That's not toxic masculinity. That is That is the most divine masculinity that is vital to our society to be able to have it function. But here is the issue, is that if you are one of those individuals, you sound like a dick. You are such an arrogant prick. Nobody feels like they can actually be in a genuine relationship with you with the way that you talk. Because you talk like an arrogant prick, and they don't understand why. And that's okay, because you don't want them to understand. You want them to think things like, if I buy a house and I pay the money and I hold up my piece of paper that says that I own this piece of property, that's enough. No, that piece of paper says that if people come and try to take that away from you, men will come to your side and protect you. Some of the questions are, well, what's the trade-off of this violence, and how many lives balance out? It's not that question. If you came for me and my family and you don't have a good reason, you just want to kill them, do you know how many people I would kill like that? All of them. Every single one. For the small little group of people that are my people, you come for them, the entire rest of the population of Earth, I will kill all of them to protect these. Because you better have a dang good reason why these people had better be a threat to someone else, because that's the only way to stop those things. So, sorry, I just heard something that got fired up for a second. That is why your warrior is the way that they are. And if you were raised by one, I'm sorry. They're intense. They are so passionate about wanting to protect that they will end up being too scary. And don't worry, I talk in past tense only because my daughters are old enough now. But yeah, when a warrior's going through a hard time, you're going to want to check in on them. Warriors don't go through harder times than anybody else, but their aim is better. So that's why there's 22 a day. So yeah, you have a warrior that's going through a hard time. You make sure to talk to them, because if they're too far gone, then yeah, check in on them. And ladies, if you would love a warrior, just know that blowjobs save lives, and they don't make lives, and that's the benefit. So I love you all, and I hope that this helps you understand warriors. And don't worry, I am going through hard times, but immediately upon knowledge of any type of hard times that I'm going through, I have a group of friends that execute Battle Drill 1 Alpha, and whether I like it or not, or no matter how much I tell them I am good, I have no suicidal ideation, I am good to go, they immediately say, nope, I'm going to need to take all of your firearms and you can have them back when things settle down. And those are good friends. And I am blessed, and I am decided that it is time for me to go into my Uncle Iro phase of life. I am no longer the warrior in the garden. It's okay. I can be I can be somebody that just lets other people know what my heart is and hopefully help them understand others. So it's arrogant on the outside, but this is what it looks like on the inside.